the air is all around us, and we live inside the air, and all living things, all plants and animals and humans, we take the air in and we let the air back out, and something in the air has life in it, and it gives us life, and we all share it. And in India, they have an ancient system. It's yoga. It's older than any written literature, and it teaches asana. And asana is postures. It's different positions or ways of holding the body, and then you calm the mind and quiet the spirit, and you take this air in and out, and it opens centers of different centers of knowledge and possibility. And it was just over 100 years ago that Commander Perry sailed his gunboats into Japan. And up until that time, Japan was closed. I mean, people knew about Japan. Japan knew about the rest of the world. But they said, we won't go and see you. You don't come and see us. And so for 3 or 4 generations before Perry, nobody went to Japan. But Perry said, I want to go and talk to the Japanese. If they don't want to talk to me, I'm going to blast them with my cannon. So he sailed his boat into Japan, into Tokyo Bay, and they came out with a boat and said, go away, we don't want to talk to you. And so he blasted them with their cannon, and they said, oh, well, that's a different story. We'll make an exception. So 2 or 3 days later, he's walking along the streets of Tokyo. He's like an honored guest, and he says, take me to a school. He wants to see a Japanese school. So they take him to the school, and there's no books, and there's no desk, and there's nobody writing. It's just these Japan men sitting on a floor with cups and saucers on their heads. And some of them have like a tall glass of water, and others have like pots and pails. And there's one guy with a long stick with 2 buckets filled to the very brim, and he's walking in a slow, wide circle around the room without spilling any of the water. And you see, this was a different type of education. The focus was different. The energy was different. See, in Western education, we focus on the mind, trying to bring all the energy to the head. It's that muscle, exercising that muscle between your ears. My father was always talking about. But the Japanese system was different. They took that same energy and put it down here in this lower, in the lower abdomen, and it taught a different type of knowledge. And the Japanese, they didn't sit on chairs because chairs displaced the weight above the earth, and they didn't want their weight displaced above the earth. They wanted to sit right on the earth, so they sat on the floor. In the days after Perry went and sailed away, there was a great debate in China, in Japan, because they said, here we are sitting on the floor with cups and saucers on our head, and these guys come in chairs and blast us with their cannon. And that was a great turning point in the history of Japan, and in fact in our own history.